right, welcome back to Dynasty Football Maniacs. All right, I know you see not two but three today. Wow. Yeah, we do have a little guest joining us. That's Hunter. He's kind of like a newbie in fantasy. Some people are kind of walking him through the whole little thing. We're going to see how this all turns out. We let him join today to kind of get his input on what it's like to be a beginner. It's always fun to hear from the beginners because us guys that's been doing it for many years, it's the same old thing. We always complain about the same stuff, talk about the same stuff. But here we go. Man, this week we're going to change up the format just a little bit. We ain't going to focus on the recap as much as we have been in the past. We're going to kind of dig into the meat of it. And there it went. There it goes back. Whoo, I lost my little thing there. So last week was a little bit disturbing and a little bit weird. Let's just get three things off the top of my head. I think Devontae Adams wants to trade again because the Jets lost. Deshaun
Is that
Watson,
true?
oh my God. Well, let me finish. Deshaun Watson, oh, sorry. And really, Cleveland, come on, guys. I know you're excited he left, but you didn't have to like cheer as the guy got hurt. I mean, come on. His leg literally did snap.
I mean, there was other ways of showing your
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. But hey, he's finally gone. So that is done and said in the Browns. And I just want to bash my head up against the wall for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Please, God, stop this nonsense. I can't stand it anymore. But I'm not going to say no more. I'm going to digress. They did win their game. Who cares?
Russell
I just
Wilson.
said stay away from both quarterbacks because it's going to swap back and forth. I don't care what you say.
I don't know, but Russell Wilson looked pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie.
Russell Wilson looked good 2 games last year. Oh, he was the hottest thing ever. And in 5 games, he was shit. I mean, so at the end of
Look,
the day, he had
look,
one good game against a team that couldn't even perform.
look. Don't be mad. Don't be mad because a Wisconsin quarterback took over an Ohio State quarterback. All right.
Oh, they're both Big Ten quarterbacks. I'm good, and I don't have a problem with that. But I'm just confused by like fantasy wise, it's horrifying because if one guy has Justin Fields, the other guy has Wilson, you basically got a bench warmer. You never know when the play's going to happen.
I
I've
think
been
that.
saying Russell Wilson needs to stick to Subway ads. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with him. I like him already, Austin.
Yeah. Well, all I'm gonna say is you probably won't see Justin Fields for a while. So
Well, we'll
you know.
see. We'll see. Let's let that dilemma
Okay.
unfold itself in Pittsburgh. And
Oh
all
yeah.
I say, like we said at the beginning of the season, be cautious with them two quarterbacks. I got away from them. I didn't even hesitate. So let's dig into the week. What we're on 9 now.
We are on 8.
We're on 8. I jumped ahead one. Woo!
We're
All
on week.
right. Yeah, week 9. So starting off with Thursday game, and I guess my little screen here has a time delay because every time I look, well, I didn't mean to try to smack myself with that. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Let me get back here. Now I went to hockey. I don't think we're going to talk about hockey.
Well, here, let me. I'm gonna go ahead and announce the Thursday night game, and it's why you pull yours up. It's gonna be the Minnesota Vikings versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Yes.
And right now, Minnesota is a minus 3.5 points. They're favored by 3.5 points.
That is correct.
So, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and just. I know we'll talk about a couple of starts and sits on this game, but I'm just gonna go ahead and pick the Vikings to win this one. I mean,
Looking at the injury list, I'm going to have to agree with you because, I mean, there's more injured on the Rams than the Vikings. They're both suffering very badly on players. There's a question mark on Aaron Jones. There's a chance he won't play. They didn't have practice today. So if you have Aaron Jones on your team, you need to really be paying attention up to game day because there's a high potential chance of a lot of the articles coming out. He will not be playing. So if you're looking at their roster, if Aaron Jones is out, well, there's a lot out on that team. Let's see here.
Hunter, who do you got in that game?
Well, being it's my first year in fantasy, I will say I do have a season pass on the bandwagon, and I'm gonna go ahead and say Vikings as well. So
Vikings.
Okay, so that's 3 Vikings.
Yep, 3 Vikings.
I'm gonna go ahead while you do that. I mean, so I'm not gonna go with the obvious of to start Justin Jefferson because obviously that's that's a give me. But I think people should really, this is a game TJ Hawkinson starts back up.
And that's what I was going to suggest. If he starts back up, I would highly recommend to put him in.
I now let's lower our expectations. He's not going to come out guns blazing like he usually does because he's been on this injury. But I do think he would be a sneaky one that
The
you
reason,
could start if you're in an emergency.
and the reason why I say guns blazing is if Aaron Jones sits out, they're going to do a lot of dunks to him. He's going to be the highest target. I just kind of see that unfolding there.
All right. But
so, I mean, because their running back crew is not anything after Aaron Jones. It's not like, oh my God, here we are.
Hey, did you hear the rumors about how the Rams will be willing to trade Cooper Kupp?
No, I have not read any of them rumors.
I watched something about it this morning, and they're literally the Rams are like literally, and they'd be willing to trade Cooper Kupp for I think like a second rounder or something like that. But
Yeah, it looks like Puka Nuka in him's going to probably come back.
yeah,
Reading this.
I still have the Vikings though, man. Even if they do come back, honestly.
Yeah, see, I'm going to stick with the Vikings because Sam Darnold doing as well as he's doing. Even with Aaron Jones, if he does miss a game, I think they'll survive. And I think they'll lean on Hawkinson, tight end. They always got Justin Jefferson and Addison's both healthy right now. The Rams, that whole offensive line's been suffering, even with the running backs doing as well as they are. And I know all the wide receivers are supposed to come back. I just don't know. I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. All right.
So moving on to the next game.
Ready to move on?
Yes, we're going to go to Philadelphia in the Bengals. So that's going to be Sunday afternoon. I am definitely going to put my I'm going to go ahead and go with the Eagles. I mean,
I'm gonna let Hunter go and choose this one first before I do.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the Bengals because Jamar Chase, that's my sugar daddy. He has carried me to many victories, and I would just like to say in my eyes, he's the best wide receiver to ever walk the face of the planet. Am I wrong? Yes. However, I've held on to him through many trade offers, and no one's gonna take him from me.
And see, that's how I feel about Barkley. So many people have offered me a trade for Barkley, and I won't give him up. And he is better than all the people we talk about because he's ranked higher than all of them by scoring.
Hey, which league do you have Barkley in?
In your league.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I was gonna say if he was in your league, I would offer you at least 2 first rounders for them. Would you take them for 2 first rounders?
Ooh, I'd be kind of hard not to. I might consider it. I'd turn down 1 first rounder.
Well, what about 2 though?
2 would be a question mark because I know what's coming out in 2025. See, that'd be like this is a dynasty format, so I'm thinking
a 2 and a 4th.
A 2 and a 4.
Like 2 first rounders and then a 4th.
It'd be worth it. You'd be silly not to for something like that.
Okay, because I feel like I would be definitely overpaying, but
you would be overpaying.
Yeah,
but you got to look at what's coming out next year. That's why you'd be overpaying.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for my Boise State Sugar coming, so I think
he's not going to be your dream daddy.
I will make him my sugar daddy. All right, so he went. You're going with the Eagles. He's going with the Bengals. So I'm going to have to be tiebreaker on this one. And the Eagles just look a little bit different in a sort of sense. Like, most of the time you would be dominating on most occasions, but they're not really doing that as much as thought. And Jalen Hurts has been making kind of weird mistakes that we're used to not seeing. And now Cincinnati, they always start off slow, but now they're hitting their slow where they are now guns blazing.
Yeah,
And
I'm looking at how hot that Eagles defense is right now, and
yeah,
fantasy points show it.
I,
So the
I,
sacks are there, the tackles are there. They're Dean and them are
I'm
starting to
going with
run fit
I'm
up.
going I'm going with the Bengals. That defense is not as hot as you say it is. So I'm definitely going with the Bengals. I have to. You can throw it all day on the Eagles, and they have Jamar Chase and T Higgins, and Joe Burrow has only thrown 2 interceptions this year so far. He's been pretty hot now, so I have to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, so the number one scorer in IDP League, PPR, for just last week, would be your linebacker, Dean from Philadelphia. Right behind him is a defensive player, and he's from Minnesota, Ginkle. Then you have Denver, Barton. So basically, last week it was defensive world for scoring for fantasy points. So it's nice to see that occasionally. And I see they're now kind of taking over the overall scoring. Like in the top 20, it's even. It's 10 offensive, 10 defensive. It's like your top 20 is, which I said in the beginning of the season, we'll start seeing that balance towards the end of the season, which we are starting to see that now. So,
Okay, so let me ask you this, Ralph. Would you rather have Jamar Chase or AJ Brown?
Jamar Chase any day.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying the
T.
wide
Higgins,
receivers are better than the Bengals wide receiver. I'm just saying
T. Higgins or Devontae Smith?
then again, I have to go and get T. Higgins. Let's do the running backs. Let's be fair.
Okay. No, you can't do that.
Why not? Because I'm going to pick Barkley.
Anybody with reasonable sense would pick Barkley over
Well, that is true.
Chase Brown and Zach Moss.
That is true. I can't argue that. And yes, Joe Burrow is finally getting his pace. He always starts off slow. And I said in the beginning of the season when he wasn't in the top 20, before midseason, all bets he will be in the top 20. And there he is. I mean, he's not at the top. He's in the mid range, but he's there. I mean, your top guys are the top guys that's been the top guys. Baker Mayfield, still shocker. Lamar Jackson. And then Derrick Henry. He's firing on all cylinders. It took him 4 games to get used to the scheme there in Baltimore, but now he's there. So, I mean, that's some scary stuff going on with him. I don't know. That offensive line is just, ooh, Lord have mercy. What an offensive line. I can't even say much more about that. I mean, it's just a different Baltimore. I'm seeing a different Baltimore this year. I'm saying it's really impressive, which goes into our next game.
It says the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns.
I'm going to let you guys go first because I'm going to pick mine last.
Okay, well, I mean, in all honesty, this should be a no-brainer. I'm going with the Ravens.
Oh, I was waiting for you to say the Browns. I was going to hit the floor. I was like, why? Why would you do that to me?
If I did do that, it would be out of my amusement. But
I know. I figured you would do something like that.
not because that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth saying the
Oh,
Browns.
yeah. I already had it thinking about it.
Yeah, so I'm
You're
going
going to make me go get alcohol, and I'm going to talk about the strong stuff now.
Oh, you probably can't. You're not handling it well right now. So
No, I'm not.
All right, who you got, Hunter?
Oh, Ravens. Come on now. And it had nothing to do with what you picked, Austin.
Well, that makes sense to me because who's
look
going
at
to
Lamar
stop?
Jackson's points this week?
Yeah. Now, Lamar Jackson's playing really well, but so is also King Henry. That and like I said last week, that train is going to keep rolling.
As long as he stays healthy, it will keep rolling. That is true.
He is rolling because he is the RB4 in running backs.
So there's really nothing special to talk about on this game. We all know Deshaun Watson's gone. Ford is still out, questionable.
And people rejoice. You can now start Mark Andrews without worrying.
Yes.
Honestly, I think this game is disgusting, and I think we should go on to the next game.
Oh, I definitely agree. If we spend another minute on this game, we're wasting our time. The other game is really not that great to talk about because bottom line, it's still one lopsided team. The Tennessee Titans against Detroit. Detroit has this game, even with the suspension. I still think what else would come out of Tennessee? I mean, they still have Will Levis as the quarterback. Come on. So I am Detroit all the way.
So you don't think this is a trap game?
No, well, I just seen Will Levis is out. So even with Will Levis is out, it's still he's a questionable. Let's read about what's happening. Considered week to week, AC joint sprain.
Well, I'm gonna go with the Lions as well.
Oh, you just made me click on Tennessee by accident. That would have been horrifying. I'm like already kind of like
Oh,
freaking
so you're
out.
switching.
No, I'm not switching. I just accidentally touched the button the wrong way. You know how you've been touched before? Or well, maybe you haven't. I have. But
Well, I mean, okay.
all right.
But you can remind everybody who was 8-0 against you in college football while we're at it.
Do what?
But you can also announce to everybody why you're 0-8 against me in college football.
0-8.
Well, however many games we played.
Oh, that's fake. That's make believe computerized things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But see, right after you, I go beat a guy for 50 points. I don't get it. I think it's something that you kind of just put on the screen for me that distracts me. I
mean,
throw
I'll
you
play
all
a
them
route.
interceptions. He needs to leave his shirt on. I've asked him 100 times to do it, and it just confuses me.
Hey,
I
when
prefer
is
when he
it?
leave his shirt off.
All right, let's move on before this gets the wrong way.
Hang on, Hunter. Who are you picking?
The Lions. I got Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
come
those are
on.
good.
It's like a win-win no matter who I start because I start both.
Yep. And I'm the same way. I got Brown in one league. I have Gibbs in another league. I have Montgomery in 2 leagues. I used to have golf, but that person never gave me golf back, and it was supposed to be like a end of the year trade. But I'm good with that. I'm not going to bring up the past. Hence I'm suffering right now in that league because guess what I got? I got nothing this league. I don't even have a quarterback to start this league because of injuries.
That's the reason why you don't do favors in fantasy football. Everyone is
Nope.
your enemy.
Yep, everybody's out to win.
All right, next game.
Next game. Wow.
You got the 4-3 Indianapolis Colts versus the
Colts
5-2
to Houston.
Texans.
It's going to be a tough one. I am going to go ahead and go with my team. Even with Nicole Collins on IR, I'm going to go ahead and pick Houston. I think this game here, CJ Stroud starts to bring back some of his touch. He kind of had a little bit of misstep. I know they're suffering a lot of injuries right now. Looking at this.
They had a close game last time they played each other.
Yeah. You know, they got over 10 players on IR. 1, 2, 3, defensive and offensive. That is crazy. And then Alshire, he went out, but it's questionable. Yeah, it's not looking good for Houston, but Houston has a lot of depth, and they're looking really good even with the depth. And
Oh, they got Joe Mixon.
yeah, and that's where Colts are struggling. Is I don't know if Jonathan Taylor's coming back. Coach said it's optimistic. They'll resume practice this week. So it could be, could not be. They're going to watch it. It's a high spring. I've noticed when they say that, they miss a couple games for some reason. So I guess high springs are
It's
a little bit
usually
more.
at least 3 or 4.
Yeah. So I don't expect him to return in the game, and that's going to hurt the Colts. But then you got Anthony Richardson. He can run the ball. So, I mean, and I have him, but
hang on.
It's not like Jonathan Taylor.
You know, honestly, Anthony Richardson just he just looks bad.
Yeah, he's not looking like
he just looks bad, and every time he runs, I'm afraid he's gonna get hurt.
Yep.
So
And that's what's
I haven't,
happened so far.
I haven't even started him in my league since like week 1 or 2. Because after he got hurt, I just never put him back in. But
So I have him in my redraft, and luckily I had picked up Baker Mayfield, so it hasn't really impacted me.
Hunter, who you got?
Well, looking at it, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Texans. The Colts have won 4 of their 5 games, and the Texans have won 3 of their 5 games. However, if you look at who they played, the Colts beat Miami and Tennessee, which is like, I can beat Miami and Tennessee. Come on. So I'm going to go with the Texans.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to go with the Texans because they just, like Ralph said on most parts, even without Nico Collins being there, they still got firepower.
Yeah, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Joe Mixon. It's just crazy. And then Tank Dell, let's not forget about that little guy. And he
Right.
is a little guy, but he's good.
Right. So let's get to the next game. The next game is going to be the 5-2 Green Bay Packers against the 2-5 Jacksonville Jaguars.
There's
And
no fire.
hang on, let me just tell you. Let me just ask this. Do you think that the Jacksonville Jaguars should just start Tank Bigsby over Travis Etienne?
I do. I honestly do. Looking at the play,
The bad part is, I drafted, I had Travis Etienne since day one, and he holds dear to my heart to me. But luckily for me, I actually in a trade got Tank Bigsby last year, which didn't look too hot at the time, but now I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. So, but my hope is, in all honesty, I really do think that the trade deadline's coming up. So it would not be surprised me, but I would honestly make this move if I was Jacksonville. If I would just stick with Tank Bigsby because he's going to be cheaper for another few more years than Travis Etienne because he's coming up on a contract. I would just either trade Travis Etienne or I will let him walk and be a free agent this year and let him go somewhere else.
and this is for dynasty and flex leagues. If you have a flex league that allows you to play wide receiver, running back, some leagues are not all set up the same way. And I mean, when I say a lot of flex, like at least 1 or 2 flex, and you have Tank Bigsby, throw him in your flex spot, especially if you don't have anybody else. Because right now with the swap off and the way he's starting off, I mean,
Now, if Travis Etienne is out, you need to actually put Tank Bigsby as I
the
would
running
actually
back.
start him.
Yes.
Like
I
even in my running back spot, I would actually start him.
I would too.
But I will pick this game first because I don't care what Jacksonville did last week in London. I'm going to go with Green Bay.
And I'm gonna jump on board with you and go with Green Bay. Jordan Love starting to click again, and that whole team, that whole wide receiver core. Wow. Let's go.
Don't forget about their tight end too.
Oh God.
All right, Hunter, who you got?
I'm going to go with Green Bay, mainly because I want them to win. Josh Jacobs, he's also my other sugar daddy. Sometimes he can just plow right through the line. And I need him to do that. I really need him to.
You know he scored his very first receiving touchdown last week.
So actually, I've been very busy working on my POS car that I have not been able to watch a game in about 2 weeks. So I did not know that, but I'm glad you let me know.
That was, it's crazy because I thought this whole time, he at least had a receiving touchdown. But then when I heard somebody, I forgot who, they were like, he scored all these rushing touchdowns, but he's never scored a receiving touchdown in his career. I was like, really?
Oh, he scored 1 in his career. It was this season.
Yeah, finally. But I'm talking about before. I said before the game.
Oh, before the game. I was about to say He's done it when he was up at the Vegas Raiders, but since he's been
No,
there,
he
yes.
didn't. He did not score a receiving touchdown with Vegas. Last week was his very first receiving touchdown, which is amazing.
Oh, you said receiving touchdown. Oh, okay.
Yes, no.
Oh, no, okay. Whoa, I was about to say, I know he's received the ball.
Yeah, I said receiving touchdown, not
Okay.
just receiving. Yes, he's
Yeah.
received. He caught the ball plenty of times.
I was about to say, that's like a bold statement.
Well, let's y'all ready? Let's move on to the next game.
All right.
This one's got a lot of question marks in it, but it's the 3-4 Arizona Cardinals and the 2-4 Miami Dolphins. And this is the question of, will Tua start this week? There's a lot of I've seen a lot of things where he's designated to return to the IR, that he's still got to pass through concussion protocol. But right now they saying he's still on track to return in week 8, but against the Cardinals. And I know the Cardinals defense is not the best, but in all honesty, I'd be a little iffy on starting him.
Yeah, I mean, there's just too many question marks on that. I wouldn't go that route.
But I'm gonna let y'all pick first on this game.
With the question mark still with Tua, I'm gonna go ahead and lean more towards the Cardinals. I know they're still trying to piece stuff together, but Miami's been nothing without Tua. That whole everything, even with all the star power they have there, they've just struggled. I mean, they're 2-4, which is not that bad of a record, but it is not that good of a record either. But I just don't see them, and I don't see Tua coming back this week. I mean, he still has to pass protocol, which I know he's pretty much passed it. They're supposed to expect him to start practicing this week, but until he starts practicing, I would not feel comfortable putting him in the starting bench. I'd keep him on my IR bench until I had to pull him off.
It would be like a break glass for an emergency.
Yep.
All right, Hunter, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals as well because I feel like they're just more secure. And even if Tua did start, I don't think he should start because me personally, I've had a few concussions, and if he would ask me if I want to, go do the same thing that gave me a concussion, I would say no. It don't feel good. It does not.
Makes sense.
Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Right. So I'm gonna join the club. I'm gonna be a red dirty bird, and I'm choosing the Cardinals as well because I mean I don't think, regardless of Tua being in there or not, I don't really think they're gonna make up pace and stuff. So I'm having to go with the Cardinals. Ugh. Ralph, how about you introduce this one? Because I don't know if I want to.
Well, I'm looking at this hot mess that I'm gonna bring in. The Jets and the New England. All right, I won't tell you straight up. I think the Jets will win because they need a win. New England ain't good enough to beat them. And it might consider Devontae Adams to stay another game or so, but I really do. I don't know if that's a rumor or not, but it's like the biggest thing that's going across the internet right now that he's like ready to leave already. He should have knew that as soon as Aaron Rodgers called him that I'm fixing to go to another loser team, just like the loser team I went to before. He should have just stuck with Derek Carr. They had such chemistry. I mean, I don't know. Well, they had chemistry at Green Bay too back in the day when Aaron Rodgers was young, but right. It's just not the same. I don't know what it is.
All right, Hunter, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Jets. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna have to go with the Jets. I've heard rumors that Aaron Rodgers is seeing shadow people on the field and he's mistaken them for his receivers. But I'm sure he'll get it right one time if he plays.
Wow. All right.
That's a good one. All right. So I'm gonna shock both of you, and I'm gonna go with the upset of the week. And I'm gonna go with New England. I think the Jets are just such an in the strut, and Aaron Rodgers is gonna do nothing but blame the receivers, and they should have went this way instead of that way. So I'm just gonna go with the Patriots. I think they're gonna upset the Jets.
All right. And to get off this nightmare situation we were talking about,
Let's go to a good game.
yeah, let's go ahead and spice it up a little bit. Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be a game.
You
And
think it's gonna be fireworks? But here's the question, though. I don't know if it will be as big a fireworks as we think it's going to be because Tampa Bay will not have Mike Evans or Chris Godwin.
well, Mike Evans is still considered questionable.
He's not going to play. After what I saw, I would really be surprised if he plays this game. But if he does, it'll definitely help out a lot.
Yeah, and then they have Rashad White.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but Bucky Irvin looked better than Rashad White.
Yeah, but Rashad White did all right. I'm gonna have to lean towards Atlanta. I'm gonna have to go against the Buccaneers this time and pick Atlanta. It just makes more sense. Atlanta's gonna pull this off.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with you. I think with Tampa Bay, possibly not. I know they're not going to have Chris Godwin, but possibly not having Mike Evans either. I think it just spells disaster. And right now, Atlanta is playing good football, so I'm going to have to go with Atlanta too. All right, Hunter, who you got?
I agree with Atlanta. Lil Kirko, probably one of my favorite quarterbacks right now. He's really funny. And that game that ended in overtime. My knowledge is a fraction of y'all's knowledge, but I do remember the game that ended in overtime, and I remember that game being crazy and keeping me on my toes the entire time.
Oh yeah, I know what game you're talking about. The one that happened not too long ago. Yeah, that one's a pretty good game. All right, so now let's move on to a very interesting game. It's the New Orleans Saints. They're 2-5, going up against Los Angeles Chargers, who are 3-3. Now, what is like? The Saints are just something else.
Well, they're injured. It's injured. I mean, Carr's been gone.
Even with Carr, though, I mean.
Well, when they were with Carr, they were winning.
They had 2 explosive games, and
then he's been out.
Well, he didn't go out until week 4. The third game when they played Philadelphia, he looked awful. He looked really awful, and then he got hurt in Atlanta. He played 99% of the snaps in Atlanta. So actually his last week was week 5. In the first 2 weeks, he was quarterback 6 and quarterback 3. Then he played Philadelphia and it was quarterback 29. Then played Atlanta as quarterback 25, and then played the Chiefs, which is quarterback 21. So probably like average, maybe average quarterback play. So I mean, he's not terrible, but the whole Saints organization just looks, ugh. They just look rough to me, man.
Yeah, I agree.
It just looks rough. I mean, they did sign Alvin Kamara to a 2-year extension. So anybody who's got Alvin Kamara in fantasy. I mean, in Dynasty, you can rejoice. You ain't gonna have to worry about hunting down your RB1 or 2, depending on who you have, for at least another couple of years. But I feel like I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
I'm gonna have to.
I know.
I'm gonna go with them too. I'm with you. I mean,
I
Chargers has a
I,
lot more healthier team.
I honestly thought you were going with the Saints.
No, I mean the Saints are struggling. There's a question mark on Chris Olave. He might not even play. He's still going through concussion protocol. Then you have the question mark about the quarterback situation. And then if you look at just the injured list for this team, it's crazy. I mean, it's like, what do they have left? I mean, we're like looking at, I mean, the outs just go on and on and on. And I know they're just outs and a little bit of IRs, where when you look at the Los Angeles Rams, it's all IRs and a few outs. I mean, it's just too many players that are question marks. I mean, defensive ends, linebackers, even their center. I mean, their running backs. I mean, everybody, their backup quarterback. I mean, it's like everybody's hurt and limping over there. It's not a team to kind of like say, okay, we're going to go out and win this game this week. And like you said, they've not been playing the greatest right now. It's been a struggle. Then I look over at the Chargers. Yes, they have their injuries. And yes, they have some important key players out, but they still have that firepower there. They still have Herbert. They still have J.K. Dobbins. They have Lad McConkey. All these guys have been playing great. So, I mean, they have that potential of pulling off a good game. So, if you had them players, I would be playing them right now.
I would put Lad in your flex though.
Yes, I would too, because Lad is a hit or miss.
Yeah, he'll either get you to right now his highest he's gotten to is he can either be a wide receiver 18 and the floor is a wide receiver 65. So you have that range. So I would definitely put him in flex.
Let's get these next 6 games out of the way.
Hang on.
Well, I think it's time for my pick 'em. I think it's time. So the Chargers, are they more likely to win? Yes. Do I want them to win? No, absolutely not. I want the Saints to win. I'm a big fan of the underdogs, being resident underdog here, and they're in a 5-game losing streak, and I would hope that they have the spirit that the Chargers just don't have to come out of that. I hope they really pull their game together and come up and use their defense to stop the Chargers short so that they have the opportunity to kick, because I have their kicker and I could use that. Field goals. We love them. Touchdowns, no good. No good.
Hey, that's one way to look at it.
There's your kicker love right there, Ralph.
I love that kicker love. I'm all the way for the kickers. Except for Pat McVay. No, I'm just kidding. I like you too, Pat. I'm just kidding.
So, dude, we're trying to survive here. Don't let him come and destroy us.
Oh, I know. He just drives me nuts sometimes, but I like him.
He's a funny nuts.
Yes, he is.
Anyways, this is a really good game. The Buffalo Bills 5-2 versus the Seattle Seahawks are 4-3. That's a really good game. Man, Kenneth Walker is playing some damn football.
Yeah, but the Bills are looking really good too.
He is playing some football.
I will actually have to lean more towards the Bills. I'm going to pull the Bills out on this one just because the way they've been playing, everything's been running their way. Josh Allen is that superhero, and I honestly don't see him falling until the playoffs. I mean, they're gonna dominate their conference and they're gonna dominate their league.
Yeah, but every superhero has a kryptonite.
But I don't think it's Seattle.
I'm going with Seattle. Who you got, Hunter?
I think I'm gonna go with Seattle too. I have watched a couple Bills games this year, and I didn't like it. It just wasn't what I was looking for. They didn't throw the ball to Khalil Shakir, so
Hey, I feel you on that one. I have them in one of my leagues.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks because the Bills have broken my heart.
Hey, everyone's got valid points on how to look at things.
Yep.
All right, so let's go to another disgusting game.
Well, I think we're going to see a winning streak for Denver. They're going to win their second game because there is no hope for the other team. That is just the team that shows up on the field and say, hello, we're here.
And to be nice, it's the Carolina Panthers going up against the Denver Broncos. And yeah, I'm going to go with the Broncos because there's nothing good about the Panthers, and that's all I'm got to say about that. So I'm going with the Broncos. I'm assuming, Hunter, you're going with the Broncos as well.
The ESPN analytics say 67% that the Broncos will win. So I think I'm agree with them. I think they know what they're doing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Broncos.
All right.
If he believes in ESPN, he's in a lot of trouble. I could tell you how many times ESPN gets it wrong. They're like 30% right.
Hey, he didn't say he believed. He just said that he's gonna go with them because I mean,
okay.
You can even agree with ESPN on this.
Oh yeah, they got this one right.
So yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna go to another whatever game. The 6-0 Kansas City Chiefs against the Las Vegas Raiders. I was about to say the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, one of the other coaches that are fixing to get fired. And like that, I'm starting to believe all the memes and the commercials I see about Patrick Mahomes. He's a god, and all referees love him and they want to bow to him and they give him everything he needs. So why wouldn't I pick the Chiefs? Because why would they lose? I mean, the NFL loves them.
Not when you have the Swifties and the refs on your side.
Yeah, I know. And now it's like the guy that's overweight can run the ball 100 miles an hour and plow over defensive men. I mean, and he's not even half their size. Go Kansas.
All right, Hunter, who you got?
Patrick Mahomes actually paid me $20 to say that they were going to win. So,
all right, he's off the show. I'm done with him.
I think
I will not accept that criteria.
All right, good one. So you got the Chiefs, got it. All right, so let's go. And this one is going to be a pretty interesting game. It's the 4-2 Chicago Bears versus the 5-2 Washington Commanders, who still should change their name.
I agree. I think the Washington football team was actually way better, and I think they should just go back. It's it's more exciting that way.
So Daniels is still a question mark, and this has hurt me in 2 leagues. He's probably not going to play, so it's going to be Mariota, which he did all right. I mean,
so this one's tricky. So if it all depends on if Jaden Daniels plays.
I don't think it does. I think just the team in whole will probably beat the Bears.
I don't know about that. I don't know because the Bears' defense is really good.
Yeah, they were good, but they're starting to slouch a little bit. You kind of seen it in the last couple games.
They're still good. I mean, they're the number 6 defense in fantasy right now. So
most news agencies are saying Daniels is most likely it's one day ago, ribs considered week by week. So there's a high potential with him just saying ribs that there's a good chance he will start.
Very much. Jaden Daniels' status very much in doubt for week 8.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the ESPN site. Let's see what it says here.
Well, that's what you get for trusting ESPN.
Yeah,
and
Ralph.
We just talked. Oh, wow. I deserve that. Yeah. Let me go back to the sleeper app and see what they say. They're almighty and they know everything. So
I just looked at the sleeper app and it says Jaden Daniels.
Yep, you're right. It does say that.
Very much in doubt. So
very much in doubt. I agree.
with that news, I'm going with the Bears because I don't see Marcus Mariota just, dicing up the Bears defense like that. And I don't care. And Caleb Williams has actually been improving every single week. So I am going to have to go with the Bears. Who y'all got?
I'm gonna go with the Bears. I've been to Soldier Field, not inside because I'm poor. However, it's really nice over there. They got great pizza, and overall, Chicago's pretty cool. So I'm going with the Bears.
Okay. I think I know where
Can't bring
Ralph
myself to do it, but
I think I
I'm
know
gonna
where
have
Ralph
to
is going.
because looking at it and to get things right and to be right about it, if you're putting money down on it, and if you're gambling, there are 800 numbers out there for you to call to get you help. But
If you have a problem, but if you're having fun, keep going.
okay,
Austin, I think it was more of a direct message to you, but
I don't know. I'm doing pretty good in my underdog, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Chicago Bears if I'm gonna give good advice, and I'm gonna tell someone to pick them, and they're listening to me. I got to say the Bears. I can't sit there and pick a team even though I want to pick them because I dislike certain things on the Bears team. Is not fair to everybody. We know at the end of the day, the stats and the statistics will tell me the Bears will win this game. So
Yeah.
I have to accept
Get
the
your
facts
personal-
and move
Get
on.
your personal feelings out of it.
Yep. I don't want to misguide someone and make them lose their last dollar. And they're probably going to lose their last dollar for even listening to me in the first place. So there you go. So I'd recommend to immediately call the 1-800 number if you used any of my advice. All right.
And also seek help.
Seek help. So the next one's also two horrible teams we're going to talk about. God forsaken. I want to take an ice pick and poke my eyes out. Dallas Cowboys versus San Francisco 49ers. My God, this just makes me. No, I'm just kidding. Jerry Jones, is he really going to step down?
Yeah.
Is that really true?
You're really mocking the damn eagle when you want to throw up. Oh,
I know.
sorry. Anyways,
The Eagles have more of that color.
I did see something about that, and if it did, I hope to God it's true.
I do too.
I will praise to the heavens and stuff because, and I just want to thank whoever. If it does happen, I just want to go and shake whoever's hand it is that made this happen. I would like to thank them, but I don't know if it's true or not. But in all honesty, both both teams look bad. The Cowboys are they're hurt on the defensive line. We can't we can't stop the run. We can't stop the pass because everyone. Well, we don't have as many injuries as the 49ers do, but we might as well have because they're all sleeping in a cradle or something. But yeah, but even with all these injuries that the 49ers have, I'm going with the 49ers because their defense is still pretty good. And Brock Purdy did look a little last week, but I think he at least gets it right this week.
All right. So they're hopeful for Juan Jennings to return. You do have Mason back, so that running back's back. I would definitely put him back in the starting position or in a flex. On the Dallas side, I would be starting their running back. What's his name? Dahl. Not easy.
Rico Battle.
Yeah, Rico. I would get Rico out there. I would play him and probably a flex. I wouldn't really count him as your running back one. Dak is a quarterback, so you want to play him. And CeeDee Lamb, if he's a definite start. I'm gonna have to go and lean. I think Cowboys need to redeem themselves at this point. I think this is their chance, and I'm gonna have to lean more on the Cowboys side of the game. And I'm actually gonna pick the Cowboys over the 49ers.
Or Hunter, be the tiebreaker.
I'm gonna go with the 49ers because Cowboys, I know they got a bad rap. I know someone that kind of likes the Cowboys, and they decorate a lot with the Cowboys, but that doesn't persuade me at all. Looking at anything of the Cowboys does not persuade me because
is that obvious?
I don't know what you're talking about. However, the Cowboys, they need to lose. There's someone on my fantasy league that has CD Lamb, and he's a very mean person. So I want him to lose.
Yeah. Well, see, my concern about the 49ers is a wide receiver core. What is there? I mean, all of them are listed to be out. A lot of them are very doubtful.
Well, Debo was just out because he was sick. So
yeah, but I'm just reading up on him right now. He's still having issues.
Well, that's because he has pneumonia.
Yeah, so he might not even be back.
It just depends on how his recovery feels. But even so, I mean,
you've got. I look at this. If you got pneumonia and you were admitted to the hospital, that's pretty.
Even without Debo and all them, I mean, that's gonna throw at least 3 or 4 interceptions. So,
man, I have a little faith in your guy. All right. Well, I'll let you guys pick your 49ers. I see how the Cowboys fans are. Let's move on to the next game. New York Giants and Pittsburgh Steelers. As I said, stay away from the Steelers. Who do I think will win? Pittsburgh Steelers.
I would start. I mean, if you really want to, you could definitely start Russ.
Yeah, it's a question mark on who's starting that day because there this shows it listed Fields, but that ain't who's starting. We know they just named Russell Wilson as the starter. Well, there he goes. It's Russell Wilson.
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely start Russ. Daniel Jones, I would definitely not start Daniel Jones because I could just pull him again and have Drew Lock finish the game. I wouldn't want to take that chance.
I would definitely start Tyrone Tracy. I know he didn't have a very good week last week, but if you look at his consistency, usually he has a good week, a bad week, a good week, a bad week. It should be on that rotation of a good week.
Yeah, well,
but I would put him in a flex. I wouldn't start him in my main running back. Only start him if I need him because of a bye week.
Najee Harris is being more consistent, so I would definitely start him. But I'm definitely going with the Steelers on this one. Who you got, Hunter?
I'm gonna disagree, and I'm gonna say the Giants. I think Daniel Jones has some potential in my heart, and Russell Wilson. He's I don't like him.
Is this because you have Malik Neighbors?
What? No, absolutely not.
I mean, hey, I got a personal. I like Malik Neighbors too. I want him to have a good game, but I get it. So okay,
and I just realized I made a mistake at the beginning of the show. I was reading week 9 when I gave out the bye weeks. There's no bye weeks this week. Nobody's off. Everybody's playing this week. It's next week when the Steelers and the 49ers are off.
So it's a full slate of games.
Yeah, it's a full slate of games. That's why it took us longer. I was wondering why we had an extra game in there.
Well, don't worry. None of us called it either, so it's all
well,
good.
At least I corrected it so everybody knew that we have an idea of what we're doing.
Now, how many combined points do y'all think the Steelers and the Giants game is going to be? Because right now I see it being kind of in a lowish game.
I say 28.
I actually went with 32.
Yeah, I'm looking at a low scoring game too.
Hunter, just throw a number out there if you don't have something in your head.
32.
There you go. Good job.
32. All right. So that covers our recap for not recap, but our summary of the game coming up week 8 for the NFL. Woohoo! Me and Austin are still working on our special coming up for the college. We need to get together and figure out how we're going to unfold that. Let's get to that point. Both, well, I'm kind of dealing with something right now, so we might have to push it out a week. A new Crabtree could be joining the world soon, and more excitement for everybody else. But now we're going into college. Oh my God. Um, uh, I'm not going to go through every game. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on what happened last week. We are going to talk about some nice, surprising games.
I was gonna say we just go ahead and straight to the pickums then if you want to.
Oh no, I have to get something off my chest.
Okay, well,
Let's
what
go
you
to the
need to
Georgia
do-
and Texas game. I mean, let's think about it. Like you guys, I know it was a bad call, and I agree it was a bad call, but I also agree with everybody else. It's clear in the rule book. Once that call is made, it has to stand. And it doesn't matter if you throw beer bottles or anything on the field. I think that was kind of ridiculous that they overturned it. But I also think it's ridiculous when a fan base starts throwing stuff on the field too. So either way
Yeah,
they lost, it doesn't matter. You guys lost not because of the refs. No one paid the refs off. You lost because Georgia played better. It was a better scheme of game. There was no decisive. I mean, you got a call overturned. So can't cry about that. That's just my opinion. But it was a good game. BYU's a shocker. They beat Oklahoma State in a close game. I want everybody to understand that they're undefeated. They're 7-0. Indiana looking good, but now it's a scary situation for Indiana. They lost their quarterback. He had to have surgery. Yes, they were 7-0 and they were dominating the Big Ten. He was a key component to the team. So let's see how that whole group there pulls that together if they're going to still stay undefeated. And we'll not talk about all the other thing I want to give it out. Props to the armed forces, both of them still undefeated. Army and Navy, go Army. And I was Army, that's why I'm like Army. So my dad was Navy. That's all right. Army's still better than all the Navy guys.
I know a couple people that went to the Navy.
Yep. Know them too. All right, let's go to our pick'ems. Let's get this pulled up. We do 10 pick'ems. We let ESPN pick them for us, and then we just go through them. We don't add nothing else to it.
And real quick, Hunter, if you want to play along, you can go to your ESPN app that you play your.
Already there.
On. You already there? Okay, good deal.
Already there.
All right, well, good deal. All right, Ralph, continue.
All right, so this is what I was just talking about. The Indiana guy, they're playing Washington. I think Indiana. Yeah, I think Indiana has enough power there to get it done against a team like Washington. Washington is kind of like falling off the hinges and their wheels and not got back on the vehicle. So yeah, I'd have to go with Indiana Hoosier. I think they're going to stay undefeated.
Me too. Who you got, Hunter?
Indiana.
All right, good deal. We're all
yes.
Yep. So you know what that means. Everybody that picks a certain team, they're going to lose.
Yep. So the next one, I think we're all going to probably be in. And if we're not, I don't know why we wouldn't be. BYU looks good. I don't see the UCF Knights handling them. So I think BYU is still going to dominate the Big 12. I honestly believe it's going to be a good champion. I think they can too. So I'm going to have to go with BYU. And I like this. They threw a MAC group in there for me, and I'm a big MAC lover. I'm from Toledo. I'm a UT fan. It is the Highway 75 battle of the MAC division, which I know you guys ain't familiar with, but it's not.
Hunter, you got BYU, right?
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of college football, but BYU is undefeated, and sometimes the underdogs they just don't cut it. I said earlier I'm a big fan of the underdogs, but sometimes they just can't get it done.
You just gotta be with reason. I get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So the MAC attack.
The back attack, I'm going with my Toledo Rockets. They're going to dominate Bowling Green. They're going to win the 75. And I think it's going to be a great game.
I'm also going with Toledo. Hunter?
Yeah, I'm going with Toledo.
Very good. All right,
So
Big 12 action.
Yep, we're going to pick the next game has the Texas Tech Red Raiders. This is where your Patrick Mahomes came from. This is the start of Baker Mayfield before he went to Oklahoma. They're going to be playing against the TCU Froghorns and both records, huh? Horn Frogs,
TCU.
huh?
Andy Dalton TCU.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes carries a little bit more weight. All right.
Oh, not in college he didn't, but we'll just leave it as that.
Baker Mayfield.
All right, I'm going
Kingsbury.
I'm going with Texas Tech.
I am too. Texas Tech Raiders. I feel like they're going to fly that ball all over the field.
Who you got?
Going with the Horned Frogs, Texas Christian University.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay.
You're going to name them all the way out for us. All right. We got Monroe Warhawks, University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks versus South Alabama Jaguars. Now, I always pick Jaguars, and I always get burnt. So the last time they were on our list, I picked them. The time before I picked them both. I guess both of their losses came when I picked them. So I'm gonna go against that pick, and I'm gonna pick University of Louisiana Monroe. I mean ULM.
Yeah, I'm going with the with the Warhawks as well.
Yeah, I agree on this one too.
And then let's go do a hot mess for the Big 12. Even though their record ain't really a hot mess yet, but it is kind of like a hot mess. Both of them are 3-4. It's a hot mess. Arizona Wildcats and West Virginia Mountaineers. Both of them, I don't know which way the ball's going. I had a lot of faith in Arizona Wildcats in the beginning. They were looking pretty good, and then something happened. And then the West Virginia Mountaineers, at times they look good, but then I think it's the teams they're playing against. I don't really know how to judge this game, so I'm going to flip a coin and I'm going to just jump on a bandwagon. And I just like the sound of Arizona Wildcats.
Oh, I'm going West Virginia.
Yeah, we had to be different on something. I knew it.
Like I said before, I have a season pass. Free rides on the bandwagon. I'm going to go ahead and agree with Ralph.
All right. Yeah, I like this guy.
I figured.
All right. So the next one's it's a brainer, a no-brainer. I mean, Penn State, Nittany Lions against the Wisconsin Badgers. Now, I know the Badgers lost against Alabama. They also lost their quarterback, and I know they've kind of survived a little bit. They're 5-2. But when you look at Penn State, it's a whole team. They got a quarterback, they got running backs, they got a killer defense, and
the coach is really good.
Yeah, Franklin's a good coach, and I just don't see Wisconsin bringing that upset. I don't see the number 3 team getting upset this week. I think we're going to see that upset later on, or maybe it'd be the other way around. I don't even want to talk about it. It's a game we will not talk about, okay? Because there's issues with it.
Oh no, we're getting to it. We're getting closer.
No, it won't be on the. I already looked at the week of ants. It's not on the pick 10. Thank God.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Penn State, Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I'm going with Penn State as well.
And we got a thriller.
Yep, same.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's a third one. I gotta wait. Sorry. So the next one's gonna be a thriller in the SEC. It's gonna be the Tigers against the Aggies, and they're both 6-1, both good teams, both really powering down. Yeah, Texas A&M lost their first game to Notre Dame, but Notre Dame ain't looked bad after that. They did have that one slip up, but since then they've regained themselves and played other powerhouses and proved themselves on the field. So everybody has a bad day, and they had a bad day. And Texas is not the same as what they were game one. And LSU is really dominant. But this is what I think of Brian Kelly. He's a great coach, and he should be a winning coach because I always thought he would be because the way he coached Notre Dame. But when he's been at LSU, he's always had these missteps. And I see another misstep coming. And I think the Aggies are going to pull this victory off. And the Aggies are going to pull away and win this game against LSU.
I think LSU's misstep is going to be when they choke in the playoffs. So I'm going to pick LSU for this game. Hunter be the tiebreaker.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you with LSU.
All right.
Yeah, I think they're generally.
So you have an in-state rivalry is next. The two Michigan teams, Michigan State and Michigan Wolverines. Oh, let me say this right. Michigan Wolverines. The Michigan Wolverines against the Michigan State Spartans. I will have to pick Michigan State Spartans. I'm going with the green, the mean green machine over that little bluish stuff that's across the border.
Well, I'm going with the stuff that you hate so much.
So you're going with the Michigan
I'm going with
Wolverines.
Michigan.
Okay.
Because I don't have a deep hatred for them. So
I don't have a deep hatred. There was no hate brought in this conversation. It was pure love.
Yeah, that explains your Ohio State jersey right there.
Now, it doesn't matter that I have Ohio State jersey on. This is an independent show. We are fair based. We're not lopsided like some channels. I have picked the Michigan team to win a few times. So I have not totally ruled them out. I just think the mean green machine's going to take it.
You can't even say their full name, Ralph.
I'm saying it correctly. I don't think anything's wrong with my pronunciation of Michigan.
See, you keep forgetting the M. The M is not silent.
I'm sure I'm saying it right, and I believe our guest would agree with me. So we will move on. Well, let him pick. Who do you think's going to win? Michigan Spartans or Michigan Wolverines?
See.
I think I'm gonna go with the Michigan Wolverines.
Okay. See, we pronounced it the same way.
No, I actually heard the M.
I heard the M when I said it too. We need to listen.
I think I'm hearing some judginess coming from one side of the camera, and I just don't think that's fair. And
see, Austin, he's right. It's unfair how you're doing this judginess. I think he's talking about how you're criticizing my pronunciation of a name. I might have an issue, and I'm trying to get it out right.
I'm pretty sure we know who he's talking about.
All right, but I have picked them to win before. So.
Yeah. Let's move on. We got the last game.
Bearcats against Colorado Buffalo. I'm going to go with Colorado. They are actually not that bad of a team this year. I mean, they have been hitting on all cylinders. I know they're not like out there, but they have a lot of high prospects are going into the NFL. I am just curious of what position Hunter Travis will be when he gets drafted. It doesn't matter. If I have a chance to put him on my team, I will probably grab him. The quarterback, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I wonder if they'll let him be a two-position player. That way, we can use him as our benefit.
Oh, I know. I go to bed dreaming that. I don't know if that's proper to say that.
I'm also gonna go with Colorado.
That's too bad because I think I'm going to pick the Bearcats. Growing up, I didn't know what a Bearcat was. It's kind of a weird way to describe an animal. A Bearcat? Come on now. But I got faith. I've got faith.
Okay.
Okay, it's misplaced right now, but I'm going to go with you. Okay. I'm sorry. I love Cincinnati. I love my Cincinnati. I do. That's where the Kelsey brothers come from.
That was a quick turnaround out there. Okay, well, how many points do you give this game then?
No, it's a Washington-Indiana game.
Well,
we're giving points.
Indiana, how many points do you give that game then?
Oh, shoot. Got it. Well, with Indiana not having Rourke as the quarterback, I'm not sure what the backup is going to bring to the team. Rourke held the team together. Now he had a thumb injury. No one knows his timeline, but everybody's pretty much sure he's not going to come. You don't have a surgery, you're going to show up on the football field the next day. It doesn't happen. We all know he's going to miss the next game. We want to be hopeful, but it's not going to happen. I still think it has a high enough with their running back Coleman, and their wide receivers are so good. I don't really know what their backup brings for the wide receiver, but the running game is still there. And in Washington, it's like it's a hit and miss. They got a good quarterback, they got a bad quarterback. So it's like 1 minute they're like throwing the ball down and scoring high, and the next minute it's like they can't even get the ball down the field. So I'm gonna have to go with 48.
Really? Because I literally just put in 49.
Really?
I swear.
Wow. We're
I
like,
typed in 49 and I waited for your answer, and then you just said 48.
I felt you in the back of my stem of my brain, but I didn't want to tell anybody. What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and state the obvious, the blatant obvious. I've been holding on for dear life during this segment. I really don't watch college football, but I think my intuition is going to carry me with a great guess, and I'm going to say they're at least going to get 3 points that game. So I've said it. That's my guess.
That's a good statement.
All right. So the current spread for that game is a total of, I just seen it was 53.5.
Oh, I was a little we were a little under it.
Not much, but it's close.
Not a bunch.
So if we were betting under and over, we'd definitely take the under, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would.
So if you're a betting man, I think if you had two experts like me and Austin speaking and Hunter, you'd have to go with the under. Because if you went with the over,
yeah,
you're most likely going to lose all your money.
Because he did choose the under too. So
I did indeed choose the under. I know what I'm talking about. I've got that experience under my belt.
All right, so let's so is the great Vanderbilt. Oh, make sure I got the right week here. Yeah, I'm in the right week. Woo, woo. The great Vanderbilt against Texas. I know this wasn't on our pick'em, but let's bring it up. And you go, did he just say great Vanderbilt? So is Vanderbilt going to pull another great upset? And I do disagree with all the voting to have them in the top 25. Yes, they beat Alabama. Yes, they're not that good. They've lost 2 games. In the 2 games, were to nobodies. But I don't think Texas is going to lose to Vandy. But I never said I would think Alabama would lose to Vandy. So, I don't know. I want to know what your guys' pick 'em on that is. Vandy or Texas?
I know they're the darling teams and stuff, but I think Texas is going to get it right.
All right. I just want to make sure that we go. And I just wanted to bring that up. And let's go ahead and just do it just out of fun. And I know Austin, he's the kind of guy that likes all of college, but he is like kind of centered to one team. And I don't blame him because that's where I would be too. Whatever.
No, it's just funny to pick at you about it.
Okay.
I just like it in general.
Okay. So I just want to get your guys' outtake. Who do you think's going to win, Nebraska or Ohio State?
It's going to be a good game, I believe.
I don't think it's even going to be a game.
I do think Ohio State's going to pull it off, though.
I believe so too, and I believe they're going to blow them out, just like Indiana blew them out. Alabama, Missouri.
Oh,
Alabama can't be bad like every game of the season, right? Like that can't happen.
No, it can't be bad every game, and I agree. And Missouri has its bad moments, and it just hasn't expelled over yet.
Is it bad that I'm leaning towards more Missouri?
No, Missouri's showing pretty good. I mean, they're only 6-1. I mean, it's not a bad. I mean, they're 2-1 in the SEC. Alabama's 2-2 in the SEC. I mean,
Yeah. So honestly, all the Alabama fans are gonna not like me for this, but I'm gonna have to go with Missouri. Alabama just looks when you're going out there faking injuries, that just that just isn't right.
they're at a different level. They're not at the same Alabama level I remember.
No, Nick Saban wouldn't put up with that.
All right. Well, I definitely enjoyed you joining us today, Hunter. It's been fun. We'll definitely invite you back. We do have our specials coming up on both NFL and college. That'll be outside our normal shows. And like I said, we do have other things outside of life. So sometimes we have to rearrange stuff, but we're still going to do it because we got to know who's coming out next year. And we got to know who we did our top 25 of who we thought would be in the playoffs, but I'm sure Austin's list has been destroyed as my list has been destroyed. And we are now going to have a new list with few of the teams that were in there. And then some of our dark horses actually made it, which is really great. But I'm sure neither one of us guessed Vanderbilt.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you no.
No. So, and then we're going to talk about top players. And I know him and me are really looking at the future draft. And we kind of heard us talking about that earlier in the show.
Yeah,
Ashton Genties for Bosie's looking really good.
I gotta be prepared for what I'm gonna spend my 4 first-round picks in your league. So
yeah, and there's some silent guys in there that you need to look at that we haven't mentioned, and that's the guy from Iowa. He's definitely up there with Ashton.
Don't spill the beans too early.
No, we got to keep it in because we don't want the newbie to get all the hot information right off the bat, and then he goes out and dominates his draft. I don't want that to happen.
You're getting too excited now.
I know. I got to keep these secrets. So if you guys like the show, don't forget to hit the like button. Please invite your friends, subscribe, join us. We're out every week. We release Tuesday night. We'll have shows in between. Occasionally we'll invite a guest on. We'll have some fun like we did tonight. If you have a comment, drop it. I don't care if it's negative. Just be polite about it. I mean, we're going to take it in. We're going to develop from it. We're going to make the show better. And we're going to keep on going. So, what do you always say, Austin?
Make sure you share because sharing is caring.
That's right. Sharing is caring. Holler at you. When I share it with you, share it with him so he can watch it.
I'll watch every video. Don't worry about that. I'm the biggest fan.
Oh, that's awesome. Love it that I had. I wish I knew that when I started. I would have said, here's one of our big fans. I mean,
I've got everybody at work watching y'all's podcast. I have no idea.
Oh, that's good. All right. I love it. Appreciate it.